In the words of Saint Ignatius of Loyola, he who goes about to reform the world must begin with himself or he loses his labor. Thus, to embrace God's love and His will, one has to purge himself or herself, and this was no way different in the life of Inigo. Inigo in Montserrat goes through the initial stage of purging. He shows eagerness to God's ways by shedding self-centeredness, namely, A. He gave up the lady of his life, Princess Catherine. B. He gave up the ambition of courtly life. C. He gave up his family inheritance. Inigo, coming to a town near Montserrat, bought clothes woven from sackcloth and a pilgrim staff for his journey to Jerusalem. As any other man of God would experience, Inigo was still induced with worldly glories like Amadis de Gaul, for which he felt to keep a vigil of arms one whole night. In Montserrat, he sought the help of a Benedictine confessor, that too in writing, that lasted for 3 days. This was the first time Inigo revealed his plans to a confessor. In the Gospel according to Mark chapter 2 verses 22, Jesus mentions pouring new wine in used wineskins, for the skins will burst and pour out. Instead, new wine is poured into fresh wineskins. So did Inigo illustratively by offering his old life. He kept his sword and dagger at the feet of Our Lady and decided to take up spiritual arms by following Christ crucified. Moving into self-introspection that year on eve of Our Lady, he stripped off his rich garments and offered them to a beggar. He wore a pilgrim's attire and embraced the simplicity of life. As decided, he stood before the Our Lady's altar in prayer, kneeling or sometimes standing the whole night for renewed strength. Reflecting on Ignatius' disposition, we ask: are we surrendering ourselves to God's ways? Are we moving towards interior freedom which our being longs for, to lead a happy life?